I feel like it's very important to talk about all the injustices that people of color go through, but I think it's very important that we touch base on how being a person of color, there have been blocks from like white communities that prevent you from, you know, doing what you can regarding Hispanics and Black people. Anglo Americans have made it so hard for us to climb up the ladder. We have to constantly work 10 times harder to get to where they're at. And most of the times when white people have kids, they're already, granted that they're going to be successful. There's honestly statistics still that if a white man just graduates from college, they're still going to make way more money than a Black person or Hispanic people. And I think that has a lot to do with America and how America started. America started on white supremacy. They obviously came and claimed a country that there was already people living here. They brought slaves from Africa and they worked them to death, and all these other things that are that were honestly very bad. So during this time, it's very important to see, okay, so the Mexican American veterans were coming back from World War II and they wanted to take advantage of the GI and stuff like that. They obviously wanted to be a part of the middle class. Everyone wanted to be a part of the middle class. They gave you a voice, and it gave people it made people realize that if you had, basically in America, people are going to listen to you if you have more money. So if they could possibly make it into the middle class, it could give them a voice, and a voice that could help the people below them. But what a lot of Hispanic people, or just people in general, people of color, once they would make some kind of money, they would kind of forget about their roots and stop fighting certain policies that were once, bringing their own down. So I think it's very important that we talk about that, because a lot of people don't talk about that, and I feel like to be blatantly direct about our history, you have to look into every other side, the Anglo side, the people of color side, and one of the periods that we talk about is the Rainbow Period. Consisted of huge voter activity and turnout from Hispanics and African Americans, but it also brought to light that Hispanics were not moving up in government jobs, which, if there was more people of color, there would be more people that could understand, Black people, Hispanic people, because when Black people or Hispanic people see people that look like them, it gives them a feeling of comfortability, to be able to speak about specific policies. So I feel like that was very important, and two people that really fought to make things happen regarding the farmers in California was Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. They worked very hard, they protested. They didn't think that, at first they didn't think that they had a voice, but Dolores Huerta constantly fought for farmers' rights, because how are they the ones putting food into this country or all over the world, and they're some of the poorest in this country? So that was very inspiring to know that a woman took initiative to, stand up to very powerful people. And Cesar Chavez, and what a lot of people in the Hispanic community don't talk about, is colorism. The darker you are, the more, I guess hypocritical they are about you, or it's just self-hate, basically. I feel that the Spanish people and the colonization has a lot to do with it, and they talk about this in the video, saying that more Mexicans felt comfortable because Cesar Chavez looked like them. He was dark, he was brown, and they kind of had an idea, so if he can do it, then I can do it. What's the deal? I should start loving myself, loving that I'm brown, and the man talks about it. So if you have a kid that's white with blue eyes, oh, he's so cute. But if you have a son that's darker, oh, he's dark. Like, they just have these bad stereotypes in Latin communities, I feel like, and it all has to do with colonization and making you believe that you're not good enough, you're not, you won't make it because of a skin color, but that's all a false narrative. I feel like Anglos have done a very good job in making people of color believe that they can't accomplish things because of the skin of their color, because they honestly have prevented people to do things just because you're darker. Like, let's talk about slavery. So basically, colonization has a lot to do with the way people perceive themselves, the way people look at themselves. And let's see what happened in East Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is the #1 largest Latin community, and when Mr. Castro was teaching students, he was able to see the cons of your socioeconomic status. So basically, if you're wealthier, you're obviously going to have a better education, and going to college will be a simpler route. But when you have a lower socioeconomic status, it makes it very harder for you to be able to attend college or make yourself feel like you could attend college. So a lot of Mexican American students did is walked out of class to fight for people of color, because obviously if you're in a predominantly color school, they put attach statistics that the school will do much worse, the academics aren't as good, but it's obviously because they never had the same resources as Anglo-Americans, So since the beginning of America has been preventing people of color from striving to the best of their ability, and it has to do with them having this ideology that they can just take anything, which I think is very wrong. And I think that the ideology that a lot of Anglo-Americans have, it never really left. There's more cameras that can record, the way they feel, but I don't think the ideology has ever left. We have made huge steps for us to become, successful, have a voice, but at the same time, I feel like Black people and Hispanic people still struggle to basically take the next step in education, start a business. There's just statistics and there's facts to show that Anglo-Americans have done everything to prevent people of color from accomplishing things that they could have done if they were so happened to be white. But yeah, this is very important, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think that I would be getting an education at this moment. So for Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta, it inspires other Mexican American students, and the fact that they were inspired by MLK, it shows that if we just work together, we can have a better America, because diversity makes us. So I think people should just stop. I don't know if it would ever stop, but it's better to just judge solely someone on who they are, not on the skin of their color, because that just starts so many issues.